Hello, Angel.
Hi, Hero.
Welcome to your session. I love your braces.
Thanks.
They're really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've got such a beautiful smile.
People tell me that I hated my smile for the longest time
Why?
because, like, at first I didn't really used to hate it. I hated my mouth, right? And then I went for Shine Your Eye in 2021, and people trolled me so much and said that my teeth were ugly, and I just started hating. I would smile and I'm like, oh, because I've always I have always had I was always supposed to use braces.
Yeah.
So then I finally went to the orthodontist and they did an x-ray and I got braces.
I even did not notice whether your teeth was bad or anything.
Now they're better. It wasn't really bad. I have what's it called? I have an open, there's a word for it, but my teeth don't close. Like there's a really huge line or space between both of them. So yeah.
We never noticed. I'm just saying. So would you now say that sometimes certain things that people say gets to you?
Yeah, I feel like when you hear something multiple times, your brain starts convincing you that it's true, because they said a lot of things. They were like, I was ugly, and before Shine Your Eye, I thought I was perfect. Like, I would look at the mirror and I'm like, my mama try you, But then after Shine Your Eye, when I heard that a lot of times, saying that I had top 5 worst faces in Big Brother amongst the ladies, I started to actually believe that I was ugly and see myself like in that light. So yes, I would say when you start to hear something, especially, a lot of people don't believe that I'm really young, but I'm really young. I just turned 23 in February. So I think your 20s essentially are for discovering yourselves, discovering yourself, getting to know yourself. And that's why it's easier to believe the things that people tell you, because I feel like nobody's telling a 40-year-old woman, oh, this is, and she's going to believe. She's more certain about herself.
Yeah.
She has had experiences, she has passed that stage, she has lived life. But I went to Big Brother really very young, 21. So coming out to that amount of noise, and it was insane, But like, I feel like now, I know I'm a fine girl. So now I'm more secure in myself. I don't even think I've seen that this time. In fact, I came back and this time they're like, Angel is such a fine girl. I'm like, oh, what changed?
I think absolutely nothing changed, obviously, because you haven't, this is just 21 to 23.
Exactly.
Just 2-year gap, yeah? So nothing changed. It has always been the same Angel.
Yeah.
I just feel like people now, the haters eventually came around. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, they did.
Because half the time when you do not have anything to pin on someone you do not like, you now start searching for certain things that you might think will hurt them.
Yeah.
So they couldn't pinpoint, okay, it was this or it was that. They just want to say, oh, it's your face,
Yeah.
But now, just that's it. I think the non-believers have been converted.
They circled back. True.
They circled back, right? But are you still dealing with any insecurities?
No, I would say no. I feel like I had 2 years to work on my confidence again. And honestly, going for All Stars, I told Biggie in my last diary session, I was like that all the things that I think that I dropped, all the parts of me, the good parts of me that I think that I dropped after Shine Your Eye, I literally went back to All Stars to get it back. So it's like I picked up my confidence, my self-awareness, So I don't think I have, any insecurities. I would say though that it's not an insecurity, but I would say that something that I struggle with is a narrative about me that makes me look a certain way, like that I'm unlovable or I can't love people. which is strange. I think that on both times that I was, on the show, I showed that I was soft. To the extent that they dragged me, they're like, oh, it's mental health. Oh, she's always talking about her mental health. So coming out to the narrative that, I don't know if it's that they think that I'm unlovable. I think they just think that I'm incapable of loving people, and that is strange. Like, I don't know where that comes from, but for me, it's a thing of like, I need you to choose choose where you want to be on, because I see some things and they imply that I'm too fine to be with one person, and that is okay, you're ugly. So I'm like, which narrative are you like sticking with? So I wouldn't say it's an insecurity, but like, it bothers me to have people think that about me. Like, I think it's very strange.
And all of this happened when you eventually came into the outside world, and you probably saw a couple of tweets, or
especially now. I mean, I won't lie, like, I'm the happiest that I've ever been in a while. And coming out to, like you said, people that hated me loving me, I feel like my happiness actually knows no bounds, right? Like, I'm very happy, I'm very thankful, I'm very grateful, and very content. However, there's like, obviously, like, I have someone that I like, and I'm seeing on mainstream Twitter now, today actually, this afternoon, people saying me liking him is PR, just different things, saying he'll cry blood, this girl will show him pepper, etc. It puts me in a really bad light. I don't like that, because I feel like, if anything, this season I showed that I could be soft. If this was 2021, where I was a hard guy and I was like always keeping my guard up, I would be like, what, like, that is a fair narrative. But even then, I still think it's unfair, because the person who steered this narrative to make me look a certain type of way was a very terrible friend, to say the least. He was terrible, didn't want to acknowledge our friendship, made people think that it was my fault, and that I ghosted him on the basis of nothing, when I ghosted him because he did not invest in our friendship emotionally, mentally, and I'm a very sensitive person. So to have this narrative, it just like, I won't say I feel bad about it, but like, maybe I actually do feel bad about it, because it makes me feel like I'm not lovable and I'm not capable of loving people. And I think that that's quite the contrary. I'm a very selfless person, very selfless to a fault, and I always put people before me, like, all the time. So yeah,
I can understand. It's a terrible thing to think that the reason why you're with Soma is just because of PR. That would hurt.
Yeah.
If I'm putting myself in your position.
Mm-hmm. And this is his first time, right? I was a finalist in my season, and he left in 2 weeks. So me, I feel like my first time, it was harder for me to navigate the noise, because I was just introduced to fame. So like, there will be certain narratives put in my head that I would believe. So for me, it's a thing of like, I obviously don't want to ruin, this. So, but I'm bothered by what feedback he's receiving from this, because it's so easy to believe when a lot of people are saying it. So I guess like today, I'm actually kind of having a hard time.
Yeah.
But the difference now is that I'm not letting it get to me. I'm still happy, because my happiness isn't based on whether Soma stays with me or not, or whether we're together for a long time. My happiness is based on the fact that I am happy for myself. Like, as my own person, I am happy, I am content, and he's only an extension of that happiness. He's not the reason, for my happiness.
Okay, that sounds very wholesome.
Yeah.
Angel. I did also notice that something was bothering you when you eventually came out. Obviously, I the weather was hot. It was the AC,
Yeah.
but I sensed there was something deeper. And thanks for sharing that with me. And I think what people don't understand about the experiment, because I call it an experiment, is what does not exist in Big Brother's house are external distractions. So all of the pressure you're seeing now, social media, probably one or two people around the two individuals talking in their ears, those do not exist. So a lot of things are accelerated in the house. You know, one day in a confined space, you know, without the influence of the outside world could be equivalent to 1 month outside.
Sure.
Because take, for example, if we're talking outside of the house, Hero and Angel, I first collect your number, I'm texting you, right? I probably won't see you because we'll see you immediately, because probably I'll set up a day to say, I'm not available this day. So it takes me like 1 week for me to even land a date with you if I'm a lucky guy. It takes me about 1 month for me to even get to like start asking, what's your favorite color? Tell me about your family. So like it's extended, it's 1 month. But all of these things can happen in one day in Big Brother's house because there are no external factors.
Yeah,
right?
true.
So personally, from me to you, I do not doubt the authenticity of the Somgel sheep. I believe that when people are put in a confined space, things are just accelerated, right? Okay, so that being said, aside from your relationship life, right, are there other areas that people have picked on that you just rather feel like perhaps you wished they don't even, like you wish that information wasn't even out there? Like, have people come for your family at any point? Have people talked about any narrative that was hurtful?
I mean, this season on Big Brother, I struggled to be vulnerable a lot because in Shine Your Eye, I've talked about my mental health and how much I struggled a lot, that they started to use it, you know, like against me. They'll be like, I mean, there were all sorts of narratives that I'm a crazy person, I belong in a mental hospital. It's hurtful to hear those things. I saw one say, I saw it too in 2021, someone say, very soon she'll soon herself or something, because I spoke about self. No, there were like a lot of hurtful things that I came back out to. People made obituary posters for me.
What?
Like, it was insane. And to me, till now, I can't figure out what exactly it was that I did, except live life the way I could live it as a 21-year-old, you know, girl that was catering for herself. Because I did say that I had left home at 17, you know, and I'm not expecting anybody to, what's the word, baby me or spoon feed me, but I feel like I deserve much more grace, because I spoke about all my different traumas. I spoke about my boyfriend dying when I was 19. I spoke about leaving home at 17. You know, I spoke about all the possible factors that may have made me the person that I was at 21, where I couldn't really connect with anybody on a really emotional level because I was scared of them leaving or something happening to them because of previous trauma. But still, like, they were so harsh, and like I spent a huge chunk of 2021 and 2022 sad and angry because I had to heal myself. Like, I had to self-soothe and go back and find myself again. So I mean, it was sometimes I can't even like really talk in-depthly about how I feel because my brain blocks it out. Like, my brain just shuts it off. So now I'm thinking, you know, like, I wish when I first went, I wasn't that open with all the things that I had struggled with, because it was so easy for them to
use your
have
past against you.
Yeah, they had so much ammunition, you know, against me. And that time there were so many think pieces about why I couldn't be with a man for a long time. This one, you know, people psychoanalyzed me to the point where, like, I started to believe the things that they were saying. And that's not to say that I didn't pick some things. Like, there was a tweet that I saw where I think somebody was like, she wants to spend her whole life avoiding connections instead of fixing herself or something. The person said it in an insulting way, but I did pick that. And I'm like, you know what, like I could spend my whole life actually running away from connecting with people and live a sad, lonely life because I'm so scared of losing people or them leaving me or getting hurt again. Or I could actually still do those things knowing that it's not the end of the world. If I get hurt, I get hurt. If I'm sad, I'm sad. Life goes on. If they leave me, okay. Like I could spend my whole life running away from love, or I could welcome love, and if it goes, that means it wasn't mine to keep anyway.
Right.
So I think I picked some things from the insults, like the ones that were necessary, but the other ones just felt like they were targeting me. Yeah. And they wanted to break my spirit. Like they were really malicious. They were malicious.
So how would you now say that you were able to get over those things, and what was your support system at that point in time? What is your current support system?
I don't think I got over those things until I went for the All Stars. When I walked in there on stage with the brightest smile. But the night before, I had even cried. I was still struggling at the time throughout lockdown. Before entering the show, I was still struggling at the time. I was still very sad. I was still very angry. The first few weeks, I got into fights a lot in the house. I don't know at what point I started softening up or like getting relaxed, where I'm just like, like I think it was because I even started to see the good parts of me, like parts of me that I had worked on in terms of like the tasks, how invested I was. So one day I'm literally just thinking to myself like, oh wow, like these are things you did not want to involve yourself with. That means something did change. So yeah.
Angel.
Hero.
I know. The crazy thing that this is also very it's very therapeutic for me as well, because I can relate to a lot of things that you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is obviously I'm not on reality
TV
platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand you. So that back to the question I asked, I'm not trying to be repetitive. Or would you now say because whatever we're going through, when we have 1, 2, 3 people with us, we can just say the rest of the world, So who are those, aside, obviously apart from Soma, who are those people that every single time you get into like maybe a crisis or something is hurting you, you can lean on to?
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even say that. I'm going to learn to make him, that's Soma, my support system, because I don't have one. And that's not to say I don't have family. My mom is a sweetheart and she tries to, be that person, but I didn't grow up with her, so it's hard to connect with her. And like I said, I left home at 17, so it's hard to connect with any of my family members. It's hard for me to text them and be like, I never even do that. I don't think I've ever texted and been like, I had a really bad day, or I'm sad, or I'm hurt. I never do that. So I think that I am going to try to create an environment where the people that want to be there for me can be there for me, because I really don't. I'm not expressive either anyway. Like if something is hurting me, it's hard for me to say, like I'm hurt, because I spent a huge chunk of my life figuring myself out by myself and soothing myself. Like when something bad happens, it's me that'll pick myself up again. I never divulged any of those like things that I was struggling with to my family. So I became very independent.
Yeah.
And maybe also that toxic independence of, I don't need anybody, like I can do it on my own, is what made me, push people away when they got too close. And maybe that's what people see, or maybe that's what they saw in Shine Your Eye. Not really. I don't think so anyway. But now I'm going to try to create a support system where I can be like, what, I'm having a hard day, or I need a hug, or, nice, mushy stuff.
Yeah, nice mushy stuff. As much as it can hurt when people closest to you disappoint you, at the end of the day, we just have to have that support system because navigating through life all alone, yeah, it has its pros because then you sort of prevent any future heartbreak. But what's life if we're not gonna just let other people in and go through all the packages life have to offer? You know? I like where your mindset is at, where you're just living in the moment, not necessarily thinking about what's gonna happen, whether it's gonna turn out good or whether it's gonna turn out bad, but you're just sort of living in the moment. Angel, is there another thing you'd like to talk about? Because I feel like if we start talking about and I'm saying our because, like I said, I still love myself in you as well. If we keep talking about our issues, we'll run out of memory card space. Is there another thing you'd like to talk about?
No, I feel really content, and I think right now more than ever I feel seen. So I can't even think of any negative thing now because I'm in such a good space that none of it matters. You know, if anything, I've learned to accept all the different things, traumas or things that I faced because they're what made me the Soman. I'm 23 and successful, and especially in a society like this, it's hard for people. Some of them are just leaving uni, some of them are like, so I acknowledge that I am steps ahead. And it took all those things for me to get here. Like, I needed to go through all, maybe not needed, but I went through all those things and they toughened me up and they made me fight to have, a better life. So I am in such a great space that none of it matters anyway, at least not at the moment. But maybe next time I'll come again and I'll have something to say.
No, I mean, most of your very, very strong traumatic stories, you actually told us on air during the Shine Your Eye, your situation at home and all of those things. And I think as much as you felt like your vulnerability was a weakness, those stories were what connected you to millions of people because they could truly see that you've been through a lot and they themselves had been through a lot, so they could relate to you. One thing I know about your fan base is they might not be 1 billion like the BTS, right? But they are extremely loyal. You cannot do any wrong in their eyes.
True.
People come for you, they comfort them.
Real.
Not just comfort them, comfort their family members. Insult their fathers.
Archangels are very brutal, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and those angels were gotten as a result of the fact that there was a common ground and they could see through you. So what other people are using against you were the things that made them fall in love with you. So I don't think you should have any regrets. None at all. And it's your story. You're writing it. And the ones you've written, trust me, those pages are beautiful.
Word.
All right. Wish you all the very best. What's next for you? Your podcast is still going to be on?
Yeah. And I'm trying to, go into agriculture.
Agriculture?
Yeah, maybe like a fish farm. I think it'll be cute.
Okay.
And I think agriculture is a very important sector in the country that we're in, and maybe script writing. I saw it like that. I was pretty decent at it in the house, so now I'm trying to work on it and maybe start writing commercials, TV shows. I
have a script idea, but I can't afford you.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll just put you on the spot and get you to write the script. It's a film,
right?
Yeah, about a young man that lockdown or COVID happened. And he was trapped in a house with 2 of his girlfriends. And he tried to put those 2 girlfriends in 2 separate places so that they don't get to see each other. So how does he survive in 36 hours?
In my own script, he won't survive. Why are you having 2 girlfriends? Wicked man.
Well, I mean, it's Lagos boys are not
Lagos
to be
boys,
trusted.
Yeah.
But it was really nice speaking with you.
It was nice to be here. I enjoyed this thoroughly.
Yeah, me too. Cheers.
Cheers. Hi guys, my name is Angel, but you already knew that. I just finished my therapy session with Hero, and it was insightful, and I had a very great time speaking with him, and I can't wait for you guys to watch this interview. You can contact me on IG, Twitter, and TikTok at the Angel JB Smith on all accounts. And I love you guys. I love you, Archangels, and signing out.